Hello, my name is Saeed and welcome to a quick video overview of the bot called Sole Terminator. Sole Terminator is an up-and-coming bot which covers Shopify, Supreme and US foot sites. I wanted to cover this bot because it's quite small at the minute and I thought it would be good for people to just know a little bit more about it when it comes out in October. So as I mentioned, it covers those three site types and you can find out a bit more information about it on the actual website itself, which is SoulTerminator.io. Recommend you give it a quick read if you want to learn a bit more about the software. So I'm just going to move on to the dashboard now, which is pretty cool in my eyes. So firstly, it looks good, which is nice, but let's talk about the functionality. So on the left, you've got your licensing and stuff, which is standard. You can unbind your Discord, which is useful to know, and also you can run your quick tasks through here as well. In the middle, you've got your session section, which is actually really useful in my opinion. And the reason for this is because it helps you learn a lot more from the process of botting. So if you're like me and you've had a lot of L's in your botting career, trust me, I have, you can run through each session and see how many successful checkouts, failed checkouts, and capture solved you've had. The benefit of this, which I see at least, is that you can read through your previous sessions and just see how things went, because often botting is just a learning curve and you have to have failures to eventually see success. And if you're in my group, I'll tell you this time and time again that eventually you will get there. But in having a resource like this where you can really just see, like with plain figures, how you're getting on and what things you changed and what things you didn't change and how that's resulted in your checkouts and how many captures you got, etc. This is really useful. On the top right, you have your download section, so you don't need to faff through Discord trying to find latest download links. And on the bottom right, you've got your change logs, which is really useful in my eyes because you can see everything in one area and you haven't got to faff through Discord again to read through it. The benefit of having a change log here is you can see how active the dev has been as well, with the number of fixes they're pushing. Next, let's move on to the actual software itself. So here's the software, and when you first open it, you'll be presented with the tasks menu. So here's two task groups I made earlier, and one's Footlocker US, which is obviously a foot site, and then one's DSM EU, which is Shopify. So I'm just going to run through how to make the task group, and if you've made a task group before or you've owned a bot before, you're going to know all this, so I'm just going to run through it really quickly. So you open it, call it anything you want, just going to call it something random, and then you just choose your store. So let's just say, for example, I'm going to choose another Shopify site, let's say Deadstock, and then create that. So here you go, and you can see the name of this group, which I just named it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. And obviously Deadstock is the website, and then you've got your number of tasks running, you've got a number of tasks which have added an item to cart, and then you've got your successful checkouts. And this is really useful in terms of analytics, because when you have all these things presented to you in one place, then it really helps you when you're running for sites which are dropping at the same time. Now, if you're like me and you've run for a number of 10 AM drops, which can be pretty hectic on a Saturday when things drop in bulk, then you're looking at potentially like 5, 6, 7, or even more if you're running a number of bots, and then you're running all these sites at the same time. You want to know what's going on. Having the facilities to see how these things are going on in a really quick, easy analytics manner is helpful, because instead of flicking through this like you would if you were trying to see what's going on, which tasks are getting captures, which are adding to cart, which are failing, why are they failing, which proxy pools are working. It's just easier seeing it like this, and you can adapt your tasks during a drop, which is a lot easier than running through each task group. The capture system is pretty straightforward, but what's cool about it, in my eyes, is that if in the drop down here, you can select which harvester is used for which type of site. And it's not new by any means, a lot of other bots have this facility as well, but it's cool that you've got a number of different options, or you can just keep it global and have the all section selected. Profiles is just standard. You've got your shipping, you've got your billing, and you've got your payment options. This is just standard issue, so I'm not going to talk any more about this. Then you've got your proxies here, which is really cool because you can export and import, which saves a bit of time, especially if you're transferring between server to local host. And I've got to mention as well, each of these sections has a search bar. So if you are looking for example, one task group out of 30, then it's pretty easy to find, especially if you're setting up, for example, like a couple of days in advance. Instead of having to scroll through loads in different task groups, you can just search it and then you can find it pretty easily. The settings section is actually quite cool, and the reasons for this are not conventional. So you've got your webhook, which is normal, but then you've got options such as checkout sound and capture sound, which are cool, a little gimmicky, but I think they're cool. They're cool options. Sometimes you're at work or you're working from home or you've got like a Zoom call in class or whatever, and you are wanting to run your bot, but you're not sure when to be looking at it. You don't want to be staring at it the whole time because that's just a waste of time. But if you can see it when a captcha pops up, then that's useful. It saves you a lot of time in the long run, so you don't have to stare at your bot all the time. And it's also quite functional as well. On the bottom left, you've got your store accounts, which is a standard. And then on the top right, you've got your quick tasks. And this is really customizable, which is what I really like about it. You can do standard things such as select your size, your desired profile, etc. But then you can even select like your preferred proxy pool. You can select your preferred account. You can select how many tasks you want running from your quick task. And you can even select your delay of the quick task, which is also a nice feature. Having this customizability allows you to really tailor your setups to how you want them to be, and especially in drops which you're not really expecting or restocks, this is a really useful feature with the quick tasks. You've got your shipping rates at the bottom right, which is also standard, and then you can just check for updates whenever you're ready at the bottom. Overall, the software is really cool, and I think the thing which I like the most about it is the customizability. I think having UI like this really makes botting beginner friendly, and even if not beginner friendly and you're an advanced avid botter, you know exactly what you're doing. It just speeds up the process. I mean, if you're setting up a number of bots for a drop, if you're setting up for multiple sites, everything about this software is just tailored for that. You can run a number of sites without having to worry about, which task group's running what's happening here, what's happening there. The dev seems really solid as well, and it looks like they've been cooking up some Supreme EU today, which is really good. That's a Smurfs and Supreme collab, which dropped today. And just looking at through the Twitter feed, I mean, it's reassuring to know that even in beta, they're still hitting a number of different items, which is definitely good foresight for the future. So if you're interested in SoulTerminator, be sure to check out their Twitter. It's on the screen here. You can read through their latest retweets, etc., and get a gauge of their success. Have a look at their website, understand what's happening, and get ready for the release, which will be in October. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.